From the moment the cameras turned on and the audience rose to their feet, one of the most unexpected and inspiring journeys in the history of Dancing with the Stars began to unfold. This is the story of Robert and his partner Witney, a partnership that went from uncertainty and raw nerves to strength, precision, and emotional storytelling on the grandest stage in ballroom television. What makes their story so compelling is not that they entered the competition as favorites, but because they began as complete underdogs. Unlike other contestants who came from backgrounds in athletics, theater, or performance, Robert arrived carrying a very different identity, one he loved and took pride in. He regularly reminded his partner with a smile, "Don't forget, I'm a zookeeper." His journey didn't start in rehearsal studios or on stage. It started in a world far away from sequins, spotlights, choreography counts, and judges' panels. From the first day of rehearsals, Witney sensed something remarkable in him. While others may have seen a man completely new to dancing, she saw potential, determination, and a willingness to learn. She didn't just want Robert to complete routines, she wanted him to deliver performances that told stories. For her, dance wasn't simply about executing steps correctly, it was about conveying emotion, taking the audience on a journey, and making them feel something real. From day one, she committed not just to teaching him how to dance, but to showing him how to own a stage. Every week, Robert faced a new mountain. He wasn't someone brushing up on skills, he was building everything from the ground up. Timing, footwork, control, presence, posture, partnering, it all had to be learned fresh. And every week, there was another challenge waiting. But he came into rehearsals with humility, humor, and a powerful work ethic. Whenever he stumbled, struggled, or felt overwhelmed, he would grin and remind Witney again, "I'm a zookeeper." It was his way of grounding himself, of acknowledging the challenge, and of reminding both of them just how far outside his comfort zone he truly was. But Witney never allowed that identity to define his ceiling. She always pushed him beyond what even he believed he was capable of. As the weeks progressed, something incredible began to happen. Robert wasn't just learning, he was transforming. He didn't begin as a dancer, but he was slowly becoming one. His lines sharpened, his balance improved, his movement became expressive instead of mechanical. The judges started noticing, the audience started connecting. America didn't just watch him, they rooted for him. They saw a man taking risks, growing before their eyes, and never losing the joy and gratitude that he brought into each performance. One performance became a defining moment in their run. The choreography included a lift that stunned the audience and even shocked fellow castmates backstage. As Witney rolled, Robert flipped and landed flawlessly, leading the host to ask how he pulled it off. His answer was simple, humble, and honest. He was strong, and he was pretty dense. But behind that joke was a deeper truth. He had worked relentlessly to make moments like that look effortless. For Witney, the moment represented trust and growth at their highest level. She later admitted that she believed Robert was one of the strongest partners she had ever danced with. That comment didn't speak only to physical ability. It spoke to the emotional and collaborative strength their partnership had developed. But the heart of this story doesn't exist only under the bright lights and roaring applause. It thrived behind the scenes, backstage, and quiet moments with family. After one of their most successful performances, Robert headed backstage to find his family overjoyed, cheering, and bursting with excitement. Among them was one of the most memorable critics of his entire journey, his 4-year-old niece, Grace. She ran up to him not with a simple congratulations, but with a deep analysis of his performance. She told him that his Viennese waltz footwork was excellent. Robert turned to Bindi, bewildered, and asked whether she told Grace to say that. The answer was no. Grace had been watching closely and forming her own opinions. She even had dreams of her own. When asked who she'd want to be paired with someday, she answered with confidence, Val. What began as one man learning to dance had now become a source of inspiration for the next generation. Grace wasn't just cheering, she was imagining herself on that stage, believing the dream was possible. Then came the night that shifted the emotional weight of their entire journey. The ballroom lights dimmed, the music tightened the air, and the host prepared to announce who would be advancing to the finale of Dancing with the Stars. Tension radiated across the room. Hands were held. Some contestants looked calm, others terrified. No matter how confident anyone seemed, eliminations were always unpredictable. But then, the moment came. The host spoke their names. Robert and Witney were going to the finale. In that moment, everything they had worked for, from the first awkward steps to the most elegant combinations, came rushing back. Robert spoke with sincere emotion, explaining how it felt like the culmination of so much hard work, energy, and courage. He thanked America not only for voting, but for allowing them to share stories with each performance. He believed people didn't just watch their routines, they felt them. That was their mission from the beginning. Witney, glowing with pride, expressed what viewers across the country had witnessed. Robert hadn't entered the competition with years of dance experience. He started with none. What he achieved was not just difficult, it was extraordinary. She looked at him not just as his coach, but almost as a proud older sister, honoring everything he had fought through. And then came the moment that sealed how far he had come. She no longer called him a beginner. She no longer saw him as just a zookeeper trying to dance. She called him a dancer. That transformation is what makes this story resonate beyond ballroom choreography. It's a reminder that success doesn't always come from having the most experience, the most natural ability, or the most confidence on day one. Sometimes success comes from showing up, taking a risk, and choosing to improve every single day. Robert didn't become a fan favorite because he was the most polished contestant. He became a fan favorite because his journey was relatable. People saw a man willing to struggle, willing to push through frustration, willing to laugh at his own challenges, and willing to keep going anyway. They respected the fight, they admired the vulnerability, and they connected with the humanity behind his performances. As the finale approached, the mood surrounding him shifted. He was no longer the contestant who surprised people by keeping up. He had earned a place among the true contenders. In a playful moment, he even joked that he would still be dancing on the show years from now, walking in with a cane during rehearsals. Witney laughed and promised she'd still be there dancing beside him. It didn't feel like a joke. It felt like the statement of a partnership that had been forged by shared effort, shared exhaustion, shared celebration, and mutual belief. For Robert, dance had stopped being something entirely new. It had become a part of who he was. For Witney, guiding him through the competition had become one of the most rewarding experiences of her career. And for the audience watching across the country, their journey became a reminder that no dream is too far, no beginning too small, and no doubt too heavy to overcome. This story reminds everyone watching that greatness doesn't require perfection from the start. It requires starting at all. It requires taking the first step. Robert walked onto the stage as a complete novice, someone who could barely imagine himself performing in front of millions. He walked into the finale as a dancer, a storyteller, and a competitor who earned his place through grit, humility, and heart. So whenever someone believes that their dream is unreachable because they lack experience, confidence, or a polished beginning, they only need to look at this journey. Because sometimes the biggest transformations don't start with talent, they start with willingness. And Robert proved that if someone is willing to step into the unknown and trust the process, the impossible becomes possible. His journey on Dancing with the Stars is not just about dance. It's about belief. It's about effort. It's about heart. And above all, it's about proving that even the most unexpected beginnings can lead to extraordinary destinations. Subscribe to my channel.